Hello everyone, it's Rebecca here, and today I'm coming at you with a tag. Now this tag was one I was tagged in quite a while ago, you know, 4 months nearly. Oopsies, sorry about that guys. Basically this one I was tagged in back in March. I was tagged by Aries, who was tagged by Daphne, and she is the creator, therefore I will leave them both in the comments down below. I will leave their channels and possibly their videos if I can find them, and I'd highly recommend liking, commenting, subscribing. Basically go stalk them, yeah? You get it? Right, okie dokie. For this tag, I'm going to do the tagging at the start of the tag because I'm a bit backwards like that. I'm going to tag Mara from Mind for the Reading, and I'm also going to tag Ness from Wonder Ness because she hasn't done it and therefore she needs to be tagged. So let's just get started. So this tag is the Luke Evans tag, and for those of you who do not know, Luke Evans is in the Hobbit. Let me get a picture of him because I wasn't too sure until I actually searched for him myself. So let's just find a little picture of him for you there.
Let's see. Luke, not like Luke Evans. Let's see. Oh, he's quite handsome. The cheekbones on that guy. What else has he been? He's been in Fast and Furious, Three Musketeers. Oh, he's been in Musketeers. I did not know that. Oh, okay. Right. So, he actually has a Twitter account called The Real Luke Evans. Let's see old photos. Let's see if we can find a nice photo of him. Yeah, 176 photos. Wow, that's a lot.
Okay, so I'm going to show you who he is in The Hobbit, therefore you will have an idea of who he actually... Is it The Hobbit? Yeah. This is him in the last Hobbit film there. I don't know if you can see it very clearly. And let's have a look. Let's see if we can find another one of him properly. You know what? Have a picture of him with Orlando Bloom as well. Why not? So anyway, I got distracted there, sorry. I do not have the books to go with this tag. However, I have all the prompts, and all of the prompts are to do with films or series that Luke Evans has actually starred in. So I have the prompt, I don't have the books, so you'll just have to imagine the pretty covers. So yeah, let's just get into it. The first one is Crush, a character you have a crush on. For this one, it was quite difficult for me because I didn't want to pick the usual suspects in like Harry Potter or in the Hunger Games, although it was really, really hard not to do that. So I went for Ian from The Host. For those of you who do not know or haven't heard me mention it before, The Host is one of my favourite books, and for me, Ian was the definition of a sweetheart. He was the definition of the ideal husband. He had everyone's interests at heart. He was selfless. He put himself before everyone else, which is selfless. But anyway, you know, he just wanted what was best for everyone. And for all Wanda had Melanie's body for quite a long time, he didn't see Melanie when he saw Wanda. When he fell in love with Wanda, he wasn't falling in love with Melanie. He was falling in love with this being that had just taken Melanie's body. And when Wanda got a new body, it didn't change his feelings about her at all, and it just made me swoon. He was such a babe, really. So yeah, for that one I'm picking Ian. And the next one is Welsh, a book set in a mythical, magical, made-up land or world, and I struggled with this one. I didn't want to go with the obvious, but then I ended up going with the obvious, and it's not Lord of the Rings, although that would have been a better obvious. It is Harry Potter for the magical aspect of the world, because basically you flush yourself down a toilet and you end up in a wizard parliament. Can you get more magical than that? I don't know, can you? So the next one I have is Dragons, a book involving dragons. So for this one I did actually go with the obvious, considering it's the Luke Evans book tag, and I went with The Hobbit. My edition of The Hobbit actually has, or one of my editions of The Hobbit actually has dragons on the cover. So yeah, I thought that would be ideal. And the Three Musketeers, a favourite trilogy. This one's quite obvious actually because I don't really read trilogies. They're either really big series or standalones. So therefore the only trilogy that I've actually read is The Hunger Games. So The Hunger Games is going on that list for the Three Musketeers one. The next one is Zeus and Apollo, which is a book involving gods. I kind of struggled with this one a little bit. I didn't really know which would be the best to do, and I realised that I think the House of Night series had gods in it. I'm not too sure. But I'm going to go with House of Night series because I just remember Zoe talking about the elements and the gods and Nefer something or another. and now I'm going so far back into my mind in my book's history that it's starting to bring back very bad memories of that book series. But anyway, moving on. Sheriff's Thug, evil character you love to hate. For this one, it was a no-brainer for me, and that was Amy from Gone Girl. It's not so much that I love to hate her, because I also hate to hate her, because I feel that she has a lot going for her in both the good and the bad. She is a bit twisted. Okay, a lot twisted. And she has a lot of issues there that Nick can't seem to address. He isn't good enough for her in that sense, and I felt so sorry for Nick. However, that's what made me love to hate her so much, because it felt like she was hurting someone that I actually, like, you know, I actually cared for in Nick. However, I hated to hate her because I don't like disliking characters. If I dislike characters, it's either slightly dislike them and then they get better, or I hate them and want to go and find them myself even though they're not real. And that was how far my hatred went with Amy. I really didn't like her character at all, and that kind of sort of diverts from the point. But, you know, a character that I love to hate, and I did love to hate her in some aspects, but not all of them. Late Bloomer, the book that took you a while to get into, and Iris is gonna hate me for this one, but it's The 100-Year-Old Man by Jonas Jonasson, and I don't know if anybody knew, but I didn't exactly enjoy this book. I have a blog post about it, which I'll leave down below. I didn't exactly enjoy it, but it did take me quite a while to get into as well. It just wasn't for me. I kind of figured out that I don't really like that kind of book, which I should do, because it's the idea of, you know, you climb out of a window and you go on an adventure. It's the ideal kids book, but for an adult, and for some reason I just didn't enjoy it. But it did take me a while to get into, and it wasn't too bad at the end. Sorry Iris, don't hate me, don't hate me, don't hate me. Okay, so the next section is Aries, which is the favourite quick-tempered character. For this one, I have a couple in mind, and I'm going with Harry Potter or Draco Malfoy, because they have so much baggage, and for me, their tempers come across. For this one, I picked Harry Potter or Draco Malfoy, and that is because they have so much emotional baggage and, you know, previous history, not only with each other, but like in their families, and it's just, wouldn't you be quick-tempered if you had a, you know, were forced into becoming a Death Eater? Would you not? Would you not? Like, would you not get violent? Would you not get really short? I know I'd be really short-tempered. I'd be like, I haven't, like, you know, I haven't summoned the Dark Lord today. He's gonna kill me. I better take it out on someone. That's short-tempered. Harry Potter, he has so much emotional baggage from everything that went on with his parents and everything that happens through Hogwarts, because yeah, if I was Harry, I'd be really quick. I'd be really horrible to everyone, not just Draco and not just Dudley, but to everyone. So yeah, those are my two quick-tempered characters. The next one is Dar, fave father or fatherly character. Again, I went for Harry Potter for this one, and I picked Mr. Weasley. Not only is he a great father to all of his own kids, the little ginger ninjas that they are, and he is also a really great father to Harry and Hermione, and for all we don't see it as much with Hermione, we see it more with Harry, because Harry doesn't have that fatherly figure, and Mr. Weasley sort of steps up that role in the eyes of his son has a best friend who hasn't got a dad, and he's intrigued by the idea of Harry, in the sense of he's famous in their world, and he's been living as a muggle for the past 12 years. How does a wizard who's like the most famous wizard in the world other than Dumbledore, how does he live as a muggle?